mixing things. So that's why that time some lot of adaptations, acceptance are also involved. Regulatory influence of the work designs. So what type of regulation that is also a influence in the design types. Labor market skill levels based on the population skills levels. This is also a factors because labor market skill availability are one of the important. You have to generate the skill. It is enough or not, that are to be considered. Available technology and the infrastructures, that is another point. But that technology should not be obsolete or not should be very much old, should be new state of the art technology have to be there. And infrastructure accordingly, that infrastructure should be supporting systems are required to fulfill that technology, and in turn we can fulfill our objectives. Now, international human resource management strategy can be understood with the help of two dimensions. There are two dimensions. This is the way we can understand. One is your outcomes, and another your process. So, tell whether the strategy is focused on maximizing the profit, or whether there are multiple goals of which profit maximization is also a part. Because based on these outcomes, you are focused on the profit or maximizing the profit, or there are multiple goals. So that via these goals, you can also maximize the profits. In terms, there are maybe one product, there are maybe different 5 products, all the you have to make a strategy. This is the one of the you can understand that way. Otherwise, the process. Consider the whether the process comes about the result of the planning and other factors. Because your process, policies, your are so good, so automatically it will be in terms of your planning is also involved, and finally you will get a good results. So this is another perspective. This is the way the strategy we can do it. One thing simply you focus on the profit. Another things your standards, procedures, and your the process. You are focused on these things. Quality. You are focused on these areas. That is a from the two dimensions we can consider it. So there are two factors. Based on these two factors, now Richard Whittington, he identified the 4 perspectives. That is one of the classical, or we can say there are 4 windows from where you can picturize the things. You can focus. You can give you some idea about this. What are the images like this? Classical, evolutionary, processuals, and the systematic. There are 4 possibilities are the strategies. Now, time due to development of the times, pass on the timing and due course of time, the different authors are different philosophers as such, they are identify different way of the forces, the fundamental forces that operate on the managers. There is multinational forms, the different forms of the process, the local differentiations, the global integrations, and worldwide innovations. So considering all 3 things, different formations have been developed. The multinational form is decentralized federations. The 1920 to 50 saw that some pressure for the local differentiations, and Bartlett and the Ghosal called this is a multi-domestic era. That time, a lot of things are being considered based on the more product, different type of products. So multi-domestic era, we can say it that way. Now, global farms, that is a centralized hub from 1950 to 80. You see the stages from 1920 to 50, now it is 1950 to 80. There was a drop in the cost of transportations and the communications because a lot of internets, or you can say a lot of communications has been developed and transportations, and also very easy that time. Lot of aviation systems, uh, cargoes. So transportations and communications. So trade regulations were also relaxed. Lot of trade regulations were tightly. It was earlier. It was very tightly. Lot of to compliance. A lot of things. Now it has been reduced and relaxed also. So the economics of the scale began gaining important. So this is the one other era. I mean, 1950 to 80, where you can see the center. That's why it is a centralized hub. Now, international farms, it is a, in the coordinated federations. In the 1950 to 80, there was a pressure on the multinational companies to spread the innovations across the farm. That was the international pressure was there. You have to spread the things, not only on the domestic figure. You have to away from your country to deliver the things. Now, traditional farms is the integrated network that the post 1980s, after that, 1980s and so on, farms have faced multiple pressures on being the responsive locally while also achieving the goal, a global scale, with the need to spread the innovations all over the locations. So, this is the way now the story going on. I mean, how does and present with the present conditions, lot of competitive, and from the all point of all the angles, not only the um, delivery time, quality, services are very important nowadays. So strategic, as a what is the role of a corporate human resource functions? The strategic human resource, the Ghoshal says they try to understand the corporate HR functions role in international firms. They're developing the global leaders in a priority in the global of decentralized forms. So development of the global leaders are now important, I feel. Even though the company's product is good, quality is good, communication, everything is good, but still some leadership is required. They, that time it has the demand, actually the situation demands. Basically the situation is demands. Now coming to knowledge power. Now coming to knowledge power, the what the knowledge transfer, because whatever you have the know-hows or the important things that you have to pass on to the others. For human transfer to human knowledge, not maybe in a one place they are sitting, but knowledge are transferring, not humans transferring. It is you can see that is a transferring to knowledge, expertise, their expertise, their experiences, and the critical capabilities as they find them the most crucial factors for sharing the multinational company's performance. So the top even noticed then nowadays for performance problem are there. So how to, because one of the particular uh, company are developing. Companies that performance is good, but other are not performing at par with the others. So that it should be in equality and equal performance, and the growth should be profit should be same way. So it is required, very much required to transfer the knowledge, expertise, and the capability. So international assignments are essential for the sharing the vital knowledge and abilities needed for the success. So for success, this is the rule, or now it is a requirement also to sharing the knowledge is very vital. So there are two classes of the knowledge. One is the explicit side, and is tactic knowledge, or I can say that is your implicit knowledge. Tactic means your implicit knowledge. So explicit knowledge basically your codified, easily communicated, and the share the complex data easily, manually, or consists of the know-how. So learn through these books, collect at the store of the communication through technology. These all are your part of your explicit knowledge. And in case of your tacit or the implicit knowledge, that is your uh, not easily visible and expressible. You cannot express also. So that is a difficulty for the sharings. So implicit knowledge is very difficult to transfer. So it comes from the personal experience, because those who are personally experienced, it is not written in the book, or you cannot get it anything. So the situation based, that one person has experienced long 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years experience. How to manage this thing, that knowledge, how to remain, or uh, to the person, to the others. So that is a very difficult task. So uh, that is the area to be worked out more. Now, global leadership's training and development, the transfer of knowledge across the borders is of utmost necessary for the managers. Because when you are competing for the global, your business is globally, it is spread it. So managers should be, it is necessary to train them in depth knowledge experiences very much needed. And they can perform, they can function the things, and they can also learn and can develop the others also. So fundamental to communicate effectively with the individuals with various cultural norms and values. To build a competency, competency means organizations. Organizations try to find new avenues for managing the free inflow or talent with the requisite competency that matches the organization's objectives. The frame of the references determines and regulates whether the certain things or the behaviors are accepted in social norms. Understanding the verbal and non-verbal signals makes the managers difficult when exposed to a new or various environments. So managers out to have the option of the overcome these difficulties by the figuring out the impact of the activities and the beliefs of the others. So this is a very crucial job for the managers. So it is come by the discussion only. So different environment is there. Again, it is coming in between. The culture is coming in between. So only through this good culture, it can be avoided. Whatever the constants, whatever the problems, we can reduce. So first things, what are the difficulties that we have to figure it out and act on that. First, point out which are the factors are affecting or impact on your particular these activities. So that is the issues. So the global competition has intensified due to globalizations. So why it is required? How it has come that competition? Why it is competition? Because of your globalizations. It is paramount to multinational companies to keep up with the control of their international operations. Because of these, the international HRM plays a very strategic role as the parent company's HR takes control and the coordinations with their subordinates, with their subsidiaries, with the help of the expertise to achieve the maintain and appropriate strategic positions uh, in the global market. So multinational companies' ability to ensure that all the operational units around the world act their overall policy and the systematic, coordinated way and consistent manners. So here actually, what is the point are to be emphasized or highlighting points? We are talking about the control needs. It means focus on these things and make a standards. It should not be under conditions. I mean, when we are talking about the globalizations, so definitely coming in mind the two things: on the standards and the quality. And now it has add on another thing is the services. Third thing is your services. How beautifully you are giving the maintenance and services also. So that's why some systematic are very much required. There is a scientific systematic science, the management is also will be like that. Then coordinations is very important. And now another thing is this the consistency. Because most of the cases, because of no consistency, sometimes the informations and feedbacks are maybe slipped out. So you have to consider it, the consistency are to be maintained. So transferring the human resources between units of the multinational company can be used as a vehicle, because that vehicle in the sense of the human are we are transferring, and his knowledge and everything are automatically going there, and he can also perform the thing. That's why the rotations and your postings, transfer. So this is all based on the needed and the from the strategic point of view. And other way you can control the situation. Suppose some of the units, some of the subsidiaries are not performing at par the level, and then you can resource what are the your expert resources or other units are there. They have to transfer. So human resource transferring us sometimes it is so that we can have a steady culture and steady structure informally across the organizations and all is the subsidiaries, not only the within the organizations, even along with the subsidiaries also. So using the expertise, the value of the mechanisms to control, monitor, and evaluate all subsidiaries activities and their behaviors. So, expanding and conducting the business away in the host country comes with a set of challenges. Now, coming to these things, suppose there is a host country and you are conducting some business and you are trying to expand the business in other countries or other units. So, this is the challenges. So, competitiveness are coming from where? That's the idea we have to take. There are four main strategies that multinational companies use around the globe to challenge the compete in the global market as the mentioned. One is the global cost leaderships, multi-domestics, transnationals, regions, and the regions. So this is the way. This the categories. There are four main strategy points. So global market, global cost leaderships, or in short, we can say the leaderships, domestics, anti-domestics, transnationals, and regionals. So multinational companies should be cost effective, but simultaneously capable enough to deliver the products that satisfy the local customers' needs as the taste and the needs differ from the country to country or region to region. So domestically you have to see it, domestic needs you have to fulfill. At the same time you see the other countries' demand, what the type of countries needs. So sometimes it may require you have to customize the things also, but not compromising the standard and your quality. You have to compromise depending on the needs of the different countries' ideas. So, global cost leadership strategy, they are the quick changing global environment is impacted due to the globalization of the business markets and rapid acceleration of the products, technology, life cycles. So, firms like to integrate their activities to catch and take the advantage of the linkages and the synergies arising from the mutual coordinations between the nations. So both the nations are to be together and their integrated way they have to activate. What are the activities that are going on? And that somewhere some linkages is required. And synergy means the whatever the good things or the positivity or the energy are both the things have to be synergized, have to be synchronized. So multinational endeavors to cost saving efficiencies, economics, upscale, and scope of the accomplished by the incorporate and planning activities all over the globe. So that is basically most of the objectives of the multinational companies. So this leads to the development of highly standardized products and the promotion approaches. So here actually in the last para, basically here I can say it is a objective should be there. So what are the objectives here? So that if we fulfill these things, if it is the in directions the company is going on, so definitely we can have a good cost effective, the global cost leadership company. Now, multi-domestic company strategy, where the cultural diversity directly impacts the overall organization effectiveness. Because when you are different diversity, different cultural people, different educational levels, or different experiences also, ideas, even their ideology also. So everything are in a particular in one positions when they are in the same environment. So it will be a different way you have to tackle it. So that there, if we do it, that cultural diversity, if you manage the things, and if you are identify what are the impacts is going on, and you are rectifying the things, definitely your in a global strategy, your position will be good. So all this should be our, you can say these all are the action plan. Otherwise, I can say all these action plans is required. These are rather I can say it is all the causes. These are it will be there. You have to identify the things and you have to rectify and have to modify the things your positions so that you can scope up all these things. So decision has to be taken in this associated way. Ignoring the specialized needs as region specific to set up a standardized policies, because even if you are individually set up for the region wise, then it may be difficult because other regions it may not be fit for these things. So that's why you have to make some standardized policies, structures, and operational procedures can lead to the decline the interests of the local market. So if we do these things, then as well as it will be expand. You can expand your product. If you are not region specific or standard, there is no standard policy is not there, not structured also, then it will differ. The differentiation will be more. The scope and direction of the adaptations can vary from one region's market to another. So this is one of the things. Scope will also be changes. So subsidiaries should have the independence or the autonomy. You have to give some autonomy to modify their strategies as per their own of the home country for product divisions and the demand fit as per their local contents. So here actually you have to give some empowered subsidiaries also so that they can take their own decisions depending on their market, and they can change or modify the things. So that also a part should be your strategic decisions where you have to allow some of the things. Now coming to transnational strategy. Here it has been observed that the changes and the adjustments happening in the global market mirror that multinational companies cannot for the global integrations, or you can say the responsiveness. So responsive is required more responsives. So responsives are required so that they can adjust very easily. So due to competitive pressures, organizations must pursue globalizations and the localization strategies simultaneously. So there are two things. One of the you focus on the globalizations, and the same time you have to see the localization strategy also. Locally, it will be accepted or not, or locally it is really need for this or not. So both the things are keep in mind. Then based on this, it will be easily you can test national strategies. The nations across the globe vary from each other to the because different countries there different political issues are there, legal issues is also there, economically also problems, not same economic, a social cultural environment. So considering all these things, so you have to decide in such a way so that everything can be manageable. So people taste differ from region to region due to regional religions, ethics groups, regional languages because of the food habits, other things, other way, financial income, their purchasing power are also to be seen when you are manufacturing or product are to be launched. So you have to see that they are able to purchase or not. That economic condition has to be considered. So thus the pressure is created on the multinational companies to provide the locally appropriate products and the services. The emphasis is on the global learning, so it focuses on the flow of skills and the product offerings. Company uses the numerous key decision centers to optimize its global efficiency and the local responsibilities. So this is the your things are transnational strategies. Now coming to competitive strategy. Here actually some regional strategies there. The global strategy is considered the most effective by the organizations. It is tough challenge to find out the optimal balance between the global integrations and the local responsibilities. The multinations to reevaluate their strategy due to globalizations. So it means when you are go for the globalizations, lot of considerations are there. It should not be diluted or should not be compromised. So you have to, as a balanced method, you have to do it. The firms are utilizing the regional strategy as an alternative to balance the global and the multi-domestic strategies. Sometimes the firms are taking the strategy, regional strategy, because they have to compensate that some of the things, or you can say rather balance the things. The strategy focuses on the isolating each regions and the working toward the becoming the market leaders in these regions. Regional strategy is a trade-off between the multi-domestic strategy and the global strategy. So regional strategy are basically the trade between your multi and domestic strategy and the global strategy in between. So that what the way the trade off the you can do it. So that is the part of your regional strategy. The regional structures and their capabilities of the maximize their farms performance, all these things. Now the your global product division structures. How to structure the things? The structure is used to your optimal organizational performance. System allows control of the functional activities in the group. Inputs from the overseas and your local subsidiaries are often not considered. Then the local subsidiaries act as a cost center, not a profit center from the business company's perspectives. Then your global area divisions. So it is when the local adoptions of the organization's products and the services is critical to its business strategy and the structures. So basically the tailor fit in the local needs and the demands. Now strategic HRM in the international context, the metrics or international divisions is set up to overcome the global integrations and the local responsive challenges. So now we have actually some of the points is given. Some of the elements are given them for this thing. The local and the overseas managers share their common goals. There is a balance of the synergy and the and synergy in the relationship between them. Then perennials, systematics, and they elaborate the movement of the ideas, information of the and the workforce between them happens on the regular basis. Linkages are created across the operating units, subsidiaries, and the headquarters. So here I can skip the things. Some of the things are not needed. Now some of the questions are like this. From this particular unit, what are the organizational strategies can come? Explain the detail of the various competitive. What are the type of the structures? This is the way you can prepare for the exam purposes. And some of the reference also books are there. You can go further in depth on the emerging issues, the interactive models. So these books are you can follow these things. Now quickly we can see the your unit number 5 there, where the stopping there. Basically, the success of the international operation of the multinational company, it depends to a great extent on its policies and international human resource management. Because what the way your recruiting process, that is important. What the way you are staffing the things. So the selections and recruitment selections are very important. So it is involved searching for and obtaining the potential job candidates. Here actually important is obtaining the potential job candidates in the sufficient numbers and the quality, so that the organizations can select the most appropriate people to fill these job duties. So job descriptions are prepared in such a way the candidates are recruited for selecting the most suitable persons for the jobs. The selection in the multi-level your process of the screening of the candidates, choose the most suitable persons in the vacant positions. So in the international assessment become the relevant to the context. The national multinational corporations is the corporations or an enterprise the manages productions, deliver the things as per the some of the ILO has also defined the something. What is the multinational company? Is the corporations that has the management headquarters in one country, known as the home country, and the operates in the several other countries. That is known as the host countries. So IMO has given some of the define. He has defined in this way. So headquarters are should be in the one country, and your operation can be several other countries. The quality of the human resource as a company is responsible to great extent for the success, as you know. So the decision is important for a personal level too, for the candidate who is picked for the international assignment. That is important. They have to train accordingly. The trend towards the globalizations and the size of the market is a growing economics like India and China that reinforces the significance of the international assignments. Moreover, there is a growing recognitions that the success of the global business depends most critically on the recruiting and the design and the desired quality of the senior management. So these all are written, identified by the different authors. Yeah, whichever as per the survey they are noticed, they are highlighted. The basic objectives of the recruitment and the selection is to take the people so as to get a good job done. Main idea is to whatever the job they should done it successfully. The company can either bring to people the required capabilities from the country where the headquarters is situated, or it can recruit from the local labor market also. This is in the host country also. So alternatively, it can also recruit candidates from a country other than the parent company or the host countries. See, the third country, depending on the staffing strategy of the organizations. So parent country nationals, that is we can say it is a PCN in short. Host country nationals, that is HCNs. And the third country nationals are TCNs. And the suitable combinations are to be required. Three classes of employees will be recruited. What, with this. So it is the global strategy of the company and the local conditions. The host country environment together determines the headquarters and subsidiary relationships and staffing. What I mean to say that Unit 5 actually here the staffing and international assignment, because you see here the we are talking about the international matters. So normally in the domestic, in our own countries, the recruiting systems will be different. I mean, it is not very tough because straight away you can advertise it. What are the job descriptions? There is a specification and job. After that analysis, you can do it, and you can recruit the people, train them, and do the work. But in case of when we are talking about the international assignment, definitely the different people skill, their intentions, and their maybe the culturally all angles they have to develop. So during the initial period of the recruitment, you have to consider this point so that it can be minimal. Your development will be there at the same time. Your attention will be this area. So there are lot of factors that are also there. The country in which there is parent company or your manpower, different manpowers. So it may be see the general speaking the Japanese companies they staff or subsidiaries with a high number of PCNs. So they are recruiting in this way. So this is some of the policy, your policy here. And it depends. Suppose some of the things local people recruitment is required. Your location in subsidiaries, there are some local people is required more, and so that they can interact with the local people. So depending, or otherwise you have to hire from the other countries, or you can send here from your own countries staff or people. This depends. So, for example, you will find that a high proportion of the HCMs in the subsidiaries of the US firms. So HCMs in this case your host country nationals. So in this case the USA firms there will be more. So this is the way it is there. Culture is one of the your defined. There is a collective programming for the mind, which is the distinguishes and the member of the categories people, those of the others. So two dimensions are there. One is when the selection is done on a global scales, the recruiters should be aware of the cultural differences of the candidates and their background. So this is the key points basically, the time of selections. So you have to see this culture difference should not be very much there. Otherwise, it will take time to adoptions, acceptance. The cultural shock will be there because you see, if you post somebody and that employee are not very much aware of the cultures of the particular that countries, then he may feel difficult for adaptation of things. He may not be quickly adjust the things. So if you recruit in such a way, suppose for example you are sending some of the persons in German, you have some subsidiary in Germany, or you are launching in some new product, but you are sending from the India, that persons don't know the French, German languages, is not accustomed with the German cultures also. So it will be given problem. So that's why the candidate you have to see so that the cultural differences should not be very much. Before that you have to train him, maybe some three months or 6 months German languages course it should be, and you have to equip him this way. Or maybe you can visit for 2-3 days, go there and see what type of culture there you are really able to adjust or not. So that's the way you have to train it up. And then finally you have posted. Before deploying, you have to see from the all angles. Because otherwise you will be cultural shock and maybe he will be returned back to the countries. So that the selection stage carefully considering to be the given to the cultural shock that the selected candidates is expected to experience in the country of the world, so that they can happily get work there. So this is the stages from the cultural shock. That is one the honeymoon stage, initially he has to try to adjust to all these things. Then cultural shock, yeah, in this case, he is maybe fed up or very difficult phases are there. Then slowly as adjusting the things, and finally he master of these things. Now slowly he can develop the thing. This is a time of, there is a different month and things. It is not a thumb rule. It may take some person to persons. So before that, before, if you are aware of all the stages and you develop your employees or staff, or you recruit in such a way so that all these stages can be, what are the impact of these stages are aware, and you can, before you develop the things, you have to give the experience on that areas, then it may be drastically reduce that portions. So then very fast they can culturally do it. So that is the idea of the cultural shock. So international recruitment, then international recruitment is more cost effective than the external. Internal recruitment is more costly than external recruitment. External recruitment, then the most popular method for the external recruitment is the expertise and discussability. That's it. There are some headhunting, then national advertising, internal. So many ways you can also do it, and you can deploy your employee to the other countries. So advantage. What is the advantage of this? The broader source of the low cost, faster recruitment, then easy and efficient handling of the high volume of job applications, so access to tailored informations. So all are the advantage of the internet recruitment. If we through the internet recruitment, then it will be very easy. Time will be less. But there are so many methods are there. What are the disadvantages of the internet recruitment? Sometimes quality of the application cannot be low. Maybe whatever he has written, you don't know, you cannot judge very easily. People outside of the target group. So there are so many points are there which are the disadvantage points. Now recruitment method is the international graduate method and the recruitment of HCM managers. Some of the difficulties faced by the multinational companies while recruiting the HCM managers. What are the problems? The lack of image of the foreign market, lack of knowledge of the your labor market, then ignorance of the local education systems. They don't know what type of educations are there. Lack of knowledge of the status of the qualifications, language, cultural problems are there. So these are some of the drawbacks. Then trying to transfer recruitment method, trying to recruit to formal set of criteria. These are all are listed here. So to overcome, now question is how to overcome. To overcome the above challenges, so many merchant companies relax the recruitment criteria while the headhunting is post countries. So some of the relaxations are there, so that you have to make some strategies for the merchant so as to enable, so that you can enable the high potential managers who want to be hired to map out their career paths inside the organizations can also help. So these are all the methods of recruitment. Expertise, as you know, the expertise basically the appreciation come from the expert is the person temporarily or permanently residing in a country and culture other than that of the person's own country or legal residence. So thus it can be seen in the patient who is associated with the multinational call, those who are working in their multinational company are called the expertise. Well, you are outside because you are deploying in some other countries. Skilled professionals working in another country are described as the expertise. So skilled professionals, those who are working in the other country, we can see it is expertise. Whereas the manual laborers who has moved to another country to earn more money by doing their can leverage the immigrant. Most of the you can say that in the Canada is good. So there is the immigrant purposes. So go there temporarily and again come back. Sessional type of very short times they are going there and come back. So expertise are normally they can stay there, they can work there, they are a part of the development of this country. They have to finish the works and then come back. So multinational company may want to develop managers by sending them on the foreign assignments. So you have to give some assignment for this. Typically the short terms on maybe 3 months or 6 months or 1 year. Like multinational company may aiming at the organizational development through the transfer of the knowledge between the headquarters and the subsidiary and between the subsidiaries also. So this is the way you can circulate your human manpower and also the knowledge and all these things, expertise and experiences also. Okay. So some of the processes are given, some of the which are overlapping some to each other. That in order to success cultural sensitivity, then your concern of the business ethics, business all are communication skills. There's a listed in lot of long things are there, but some of the processes are important. Open-mindedness, tolerance of the differences. So yeah, all are particularly the process points. So reason for the expertise failure, because most of the cases the expertise failure because as I said the cultural shock is there and sometimes that a salary and allowances are not properly judged or maybe they are not happy. Relocating charges or foreign country amounts spent, what are they are spending there, they are not savings potential is less, they cannot save the more money. So there is a lot of things are there. So you have to consider this, and moreover, the expertise families in abroad expenses are there. So it is encouraging training and expertise, etc. So all these things are vital point. So sometimes the HR has to be considered before make a policy or structures, salary structures, considering all these points. Even in the children's education from their countries also. So indirectly, the costs which include loss of opportunity and the market share and the loss of the reputation of the country. In this case, what happens if you failure, then it is the reputation of the market is also gone, and maybe in the future you cannot get the assignment from the other countries also, or you cannot expand the business. So your company, so failed expertise, self-esteem with reasons to fail and what the so, but as the important as the technical skills of the candidate are certain other considerations like ability to things. So, willingness and acceptance important, and spouse before the selecting you have to discuss interviewing with the spouses also. So, before sending the any employees, the recruiters have to ensure that the selected candidates as a persons who can withstand the cultural shock. That is the main issue. You have to ensure it. It should not be coming back. So which maybe because of lot of issues are there because of these this failure things. I will try to highlight what are the points are most of the cases is failure, and that area has to be taken care. So some of the important questions are there, which are the relative merits and demerits, as we seen. Have to explain different recruitment methods, and then who is the expertise, and what their quality should be there, and what are the main reasons for the expertise failure, why the expertise are failure there, or even in the project is failed. So what kind of what can be done at the recruitment stage, that minimum expertise failures, so that we can minimize the things. So all these points are with the questions, the self-assessment question. So this is the way. Now I think I have tried to cover up all the questions and all these things in this part. Things. So okay, thank you, and once again, happy Teachers' Day. Thank you very much.
कैसा सर बदलने में नहीं आपको दिक्कत
हाँ
नहीं
अच्छा
है?
एवरेज से
हाँ,
और सब ठीक ठाक।
हाँ सर।
अच्छा वो हाँ ये
नीचे है सर, मोनी सर के पास रहता है।
अच्छा अच्छा
तो मैसेज आएगा, बस किसी का नहीं आया, मैंने रिसीव किया है।
किस चीज़ का